I had somebody come up to me yesterday that was almost in tears and said, like, you know, I was at a place of self-harm and your work has really helped me get through, and your TikToks and your social media like makes me feel better. And I was like, oh my goodness, like that's amazing.
Wow.
You know, it's pretty cool.
So it has kind of changed your life in a way.
It has, it really has.
Hey everyone, welcome to Alicyn's Wonderland, the show that takes you inside the world of animation and video games. And I am so excited because today we are sitting down with voice actor and musician Griffin Burns, known for roles such as Childe on Genshin Impact, as well as his roles on Batwheels, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and many, many more. Griffin is also a dear friend, and I am so excited to sit down with him today. Griffin, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Alicyn.
Hey now. Cheers.
Cheers.
This is our first time seeing each other this year, I think.
That's right. And this tea smells mighty fragrant. I like it. Chocolate notes.
Yes.
Some orange.
They call it creme brulee. We're so fancy.
Yummy. Oh, we are rolling now.
That is good. We are officially rolling.
Okay, cool.
Yep. The show has started.
Okay.
So welcome everyone. Welcome to the studio. Welcome to just a deep dive with you. I mean, you have had such a busy couple years.
It's been busy. Busy. Things have been popping off.
Yeah. Lots of conventions, some really
That's
good
right.
projects. How are you finding you're managing everything these days?
I'm a little tired, to be honest. I just finished a convention this past weekend. I was in Pomona at the Fairplex.
Anime Impulse.
Yes.
Yay,
and,
what's up, Anime Impulse?
Yeah. They're probably cleaning up as we speak because it just finished.
Because it was a mess.
It rained. It rained a lot. So it was all indoors. Yeah, it was. Saturday especially was a messy day. It was pouring. But we were all indoors, but fans would migrate from one sort of what do you call it, station to another or
booth.
Yeah, so people were carrying umbrellas and things. But yeah, it was good. This past year, 2022 has been a whirlwind. I think I did 24 conventions, like 2 a month.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's funny, sometimes fans will approach and be like, Griffin, you seem a little tired. And I'll be like, well, I have been traveling twice a month for the last year. So, but
how do you manage your health and juggle your time, having all those commitments?
It's tough. Sessions have to be done Monday through Wednesday, typically, maybe Monday through Thursday, but I'm often, coming back from a trip and going right into auditions that are due Monday morning.
Yeah. And
just kind of stacking things up. So it works out. It's fine. I haven't really missed anything. I don't feel like I've lost any opportunities necessarily, but it makes you have to organize your life a little bit more.
And you're lucky you don't yet have a family.
Yes.
So that's helpful.
Right. It is helpful. I know someone at Anime Impulse asked if I had 5 kids and was married. This was a question and they wanted to confirm. I said, I do not have 5 kids.
Rumor on the street.
Yeah.
You are father of 5.
Out there, I do not have 5 kids. So yeah, it makes it easier to jet set if I need to.
Yeah. And I remember we had chatted on this show a couple years ago. I think it's been like 2 years now.
It has,
and you were just saying, while the desire is there and while you are in such demand and conventions are asking you to come out to all over the world, that you would follow that train until,
within reason, I don't want it to put me out and I don't want to miss good opportunities because first and foremost, I consider myself a voice actor, not a influencer or anything like that. Although I seem to have a little bit of that going on. Yeah. But I don't, you never know how long something's going to run for. And Genshin's really hot right now. Demon Slayer's really hot. As an actor, as you know, you just kind of have to run with things while they're firing. Yeah. Because the career can have, valleys, peaks and valleys. So right now it's on a peak and I'll ride it and see how long it goes.
Yeah. Lots of irons in the fire. You got to know which one to juggle.
That's the thing. And that's the exciting part, is sort of planting all these seeds in this business. Maybe video games takes off. Maybe it's anime one season. Maybe you get into a loop troupe. Who knows? And so you just kind of, if you're open to those opportunities and you keep putting out your best work, maybe it's Convention City for a while and then maybe it's something else. So
what is your favorite of all the different facets of voice acting? Do you have one that you love the most?
That's a good question. I always enjoy doing video games. This is probably not a popular response for a lot of voice actors. I love commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a cadence to them. I like the game of adding improv to the commercial auditions to see if I can, get a casting director to sort of, catch their ear by doing something a little different. So to me, it's a little bit of a game. And to be frank, it's you leverage your time because they tend to be higher paying and they don't take a terrible amount of time to record. So commercials are awesome if you can get them.
Yeah, it's interesting. Although there's definitely not, nobody's coming to your booth at Anime Impulse and asking you to sign for your commercial.
McDonald's, I heard you.
Was that you on that McDonald's radio spot? Oh my goodness, that was so great.
Although I do have some people on Twitter and Instagram that write me and be like, were you in a Colorado credit union?
They recognize your voice?
Yeah, or something random. Yeah, and I'm like, actually, that was me.
Yeah. We can't discount commercials and the impact, the percentage that they have on our career, for sure.
Another interesting little side story is that one of the Genshin fans works for an ad agency, and they apparently booked me for a commercial
because they
knew me as Childe from Genshin, and they're like, wouldn't it be funny if he voiced Collins Community College or whatever it was, So that was pretty cool.
Did they have you use Childe's voice?
I mean, it's essentially
voice,
my
right?
voice.
That one
so I think anybody
who
hears me do a commercial is probably going to think it sounds like Childe. But
now, how did that job come about? The casting for that
for Genshin or
for Genshin?
Oh, for Genshin, that was just through my agent. I'm here with Abrams, which is now A3, and it just normal video game audition that rolled through pre-COVID, and didn't think too much of it.
And then, wow.
And then, 3-4 weeks later, maybe longer, I got booked on it. And I just, again, didn't think much of it. We did one session, and the director, Chris Fiella, who was like, I think this one's going to be really big. And I thought, well, we'll see. But yeah, it was the first time where someone said something would be huge, and it ended up being huge.
Usually it's the opposite.
Oh, yeah, totally. This project's going to be massive. And then you're like, okay, nobody cares.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it's, I guess when you've been doing it for a little while, I know there's plenty of people out there who've been doing it longer than me, but I've been at it for almost 13 years now. And, enough time goes by, there's going to be something that, takes off.
Yes. I mean, I think that's true for a lot of people, but the level of Genshin is unlike, it's pretty rare.
It is rare.
From all the friends and people that I know in the business, Genshin's really taken on a life of its own, and the fans are very passionate.
They are. It's pretty amazing. I had no idea. I'm relatively new to the convention circuit. I didn't really use a lot of social media. Maybe I even said this a couple of years ago when I was on your show then. But it's just become such a big part of my life now.
Yeah, the fan interaction.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that tens of thousands of people would show up to these cons, and that there's millions of people that play the game, and people really connect with the characters on a level that I would never have imagined. Like, I had somebody come up to me yesterday that was almost in tears and said, like, I was at a place of self-harm, and your work has really helped me get through, and your TikToks and your social media makes me feel better. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. So
it has kind of changed your life in a way.
It has. It really has. Yeah, totally.
Do you feel that now that you're interacting with the fans more, that you take that into your new work and your new auditions and projects? Well,
I can say that when I'm on a job and I'm doing the lines, I find myself wanting to make them as the best that they can be, because I know that sometimes they can be heard by a really large audience. And I don't want to ever want to half-ass something or say it's good enough. I want it to be really representative of my best work. So it doesn't matter if it's a commercial or ADR or whatever. I just want it to really be I want to leave this session knowing that I did my best, because you never know how many ears will be on it. Or, you know, I want it to represent me.
Do you find that particular types, like such as dubbing, have different challenges?
Oh, totally. Dubbing would be, you know, you've got multiple challenges. You have timing. Dubbing is watching the original Japanese, as you know, and then, you know, coming in and trying to place it right, matching tone, and also performing. So you're doing kind of a few jobs with dubbing.
Yeah.
Video games tend to be a little more relaxed with timing. Commercials also and promos have a lot of timing and sort of cadence. But I'm losing track of the question. But yeah.
Oh, just like dubbing, any particular challenges with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you covered that.
Yeah. I think that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's almost like dubbing, you're taking on a bit of a role of a producer in a way that you need to step outside of yourself.
Yeah.
Although you have to be very grounded in the character. Yeah. I find that it's very different.
And I do think, trending wise, I do think, I dare say that anime may be trending a little more. I wouldn't call it realistic yet, but performances are becoming a little more grounded and natural. I'm seeing more casting notes for JRPG type games where they're like, we don't want big anime reads. We want it to sound more grounded and natural. So I think that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting too. The explosion of anime. We have Disney launching their anime and Crunchyroll, taking over Funimation.
Yeah.
This sort of conglomeration of these different companies. Do you feel that that's going to affect the work?
Well, I hope it just means that there's more. There's more opportunities. I will say it seems like it's going to make things more competitive because you've got a lot of people that are becoming aware of like this massive fan base and wanting to be a part of these big franchises. I think there are more eyes on anime and video games, and therefore you're going to see more competition.
Bigger names, do you think? Yeah,
maybe even some celebrities that are like, I want to be a part of this video game franchise or what have you. So I'm sure you feel this way too, fortunate that I started a little while ago because I already have like a leg in that world, but I don't feel like I can relax. Like I feel like I still have to go out there, compete, audition as best as I can. Like these jobs they're not just given to you.
No, yeah.
So.
Yeah, and although I've done a little bit of anime, I still feel that I'm not, I haven't done as much as somebody like you and really explored various companies and certainly.
Yeah, but you know what's funny is like 5, 7, 8 years ago, I'll be honest, I was like not always comfortable telling people that I did a lot of anime because in the LA, especially the agent world, that was sort of like, you do that on your own time. We'll focus on these jobs. And now it's shifted a little bit. Like there are more agents that are willing to entertain actors doing it because it's a big business. And it's just, it's interesting. I don't feel like embarrassed to tell anyone that I do a lot of those roles. In fact, I was at Target the other day and a little boy passed me wearing a Moichiro shirt, which is my character in Demon Slayer. And I almost stopped. I almost was going to be like, hey, guess what? I voice him. But I didn't. I
totally would have.
I was like, I don't want to open that can of worms, but I almost did. But yeah, it's becoming, when you start to see, kids at the mall wearing shirts of your show and their anime, something's happening,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Anime, definitely the perception has shifted. And that I think part of it too is that a lot of the fans of anime are adults or teens or, somebody that has the autonomy to be able to buy a ticket to a convention.
Totally.
Whereas, a 5, 6, 7-year-old kid, a preschool child is certainly not going to be like, Mommy, Daddy, I'm going to go see Griffin Burns from Batwheels.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Although, to me, I'm so proud of being in a show like Batwheels because those are so hard to get involved in.
Yes.
As you know, it's...
and what an awesome show it is. We binged it.
Yeah.
In 2 days, my son was done with the entire
all the
episodes.
16 or 17 episodes.
Yeah, there's not too many out yet. But maybe it was 8 at the time, actually. I'm trying to think. I don't think it was 6.
Yeah, I think they put out like some chunks.
Another chunk, yeah. But the show was so well written, and so it looks amazing,
right?
And it's just so cool.
It's like a CGI movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Cars or any of those, animated movies.
What can you tell us about that project?
Well, I can tell you like how I got my start in it.
Yeah.
I was in Hawaii at the time of when I got the audition.
For a con?
No, just for vacation. It was during COVID, and I wanted to escape and spent like 18 days in Kauai.
Oh my God,
but
that's so dreamy.
brought a whole booth along. And that audition came through for, I think he was just called the Joker Van at the time. I almost passed because I was, enjoying this nice vacation and thought like, these are so hard to book. I don't know if I want to do it. I found the motivation, got in the booth. I knocked it out in about 5 minutes. I had made choices before I read over the script, made my choices, went in, knocked it out, sent it off, and I thought nothing of it. And in the following year, I got a call from my agent saying, hey, they'd like to offer you the role. And I was like, no callback? I'm good. I got it? Cool. So that's how I got the job. And then we recorded a lot of episodes over COVID. I still have yet to meet any of the cast in real life.
We know Mick Wingert, right?
I know Mick Wingert, which is awesome. He plays I play his car.
Yeah. You guys are in a lot of things together.
Yeah. He's a great guy. And, Ethan Hawke is Batman in it, which is pretty cool. Be neat to meet him.
Be neat to have him on the show.
Totally.
Let's talk Batman. He'd be like, what?
So that's about it. I mean, it was also the first time I got to sing in an original animation. There's a theme song for the sort of the bad guy vehicles. So I got to sort of run lead vocal on that, and you can hear it in the show. And hopefully there will be more, although nowadays it's kind of hard to keep tabs on stats with like viewership because it's on HBO Max and it's on Cartoon Network.
They know.
We don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm in the dark as to whether people are watching it, enjoying it. But I've watched it myself. I think it's very good.
I think it's very good.
So fingers crossed there'll be more.
Fingers crossed for everybody, the fans and everything.
Yeah.
We are kind of at a time where there is so much content that, when I just see with my son, when a show comes out and he's like hyper into that particular show for a little while. And then when he gets through all the episodes, it's like he'll move on to the next. Yeah. And so, I think the marketing challenge is being able to let everybody know that, hey, this show is back,
totally
tune back in, and it's also why it's so beneficial to have a show that has like many, many seasons. So even if it's new to them, when they discover it, they can just keep going down that train forever and ever.
Yeah, that is a challenge, I imagine, on that side of, the production.
Are you guys on your first season? Is it first season?
Well, actually, I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say, but they've done a bunch of episodes.
Yeah.
So
got it.
Yeah. Hopefully there'll be more. But I was just going to add, like, with, live action shows like White Lotus that a lot of people have been watching. I watched Severance not too long ago. I loved both of those shows so much. But I also know that in so many months I'll kind of forget. Yeah. And then I will need to be reminded. Somebody's going to have to be like, hey, the season 3 of this is out now.
Or like 2. Come to this White Lotus event and like post on social media about it.
But naturally, we're going to forget because we binge these shows pretty quickly. We watch all the episodes and because they're all available, and then you move on to the next thing.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite shows? You mentioned White Lotus and Severance.
Yeah, I just watched White Lotus, Severance. I mean, if you want to go way back, I binged all of Frasier.
Oh, yeah.
Super smart writing. I loved King of the Hill. I watched all of Malcolm in the Middle. I watched all of X-Files.
You got good taste.
I got some taste. I don't know if it's good.
When I was at college, those are like, you just named like 3 or 4 of the shows that they would teach the kids as like television structure.
Really?
And, like, good writing.
Yeah. Those all kept me hooked. I mean, I've watched so many other things. I'm just blanking right now.
What do you do in your spare time?
Spare time? Gosh, sometimes I don't feel like I have spare time, but I try to write music. One of my goals over the last so many months has been to pick up my like journal and just try to write lyrics, whether they're good or not. I just try to write something. I enjoy band practice when we have it.
Shout out to Kylan.
Yeah, what's up, Kylan?
Such a cool guy. Love your bandmate.
Thank you.
Your band, New Girlfriend.
Yeah. For those that don't know, I'm in a band called New Girlfriend. If you know the movie reference of our band name, brownie points, air high five.
Wait, I don't think we've ever talked about that.
Well, it's from Scott Pilgrim.
Oh.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which Kylan and I were watching many years ago. And there's a part in the movie where one of the characters says, "Is that your new girlfriend or your new girlfriend?" And we're like, "Yo." That's the band name. Yeah. So anyways, what were we talking about?
We were talking about your band and New Girlfriend and kind of like, well, we were segueing, I think, out of like how that's something you're passionate about, something that you actually love to do in your downtime. On the side,
right, yeah.
But it is becoming a bigger part of what you share online as well.
I think so, yeah. Because of the Genshin fan base, we have a pretty loyal following. Our Spotify numbers have really gone up. We used to only have like less than 100 monthly listeners. Now we're hovering around 20,000, which is pretty good.
That's great.
Yeah. And
for an indie, you're not paying label anything.
No, and there are people playing like pretty big shows out there that have the same numbers or less. And so I feel very fortunate that we've tapped into that audience. It's kind of, given us this platform where when we do release music, there's always ears on it.
Is that because of social media or because of anime?
Both. I'd say it's largely because of the anime fan base that I have, but they only discover it through my social media posts. And then there are probably other people that follow me that aren't in the anime world that discover the music too. So, but by and large, I'm going to guess that our fan base is like 80%, anime Genshin fans. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Genshin.
Yeah, seriously. But like we did a cover of Sia's Snowman for Christmas last year.
I remember that. And that was right when you came on, I think.
And that, since then, has over 1 million cumulative streams.
Wow.
So not bad for, like you said, completely independent. Kylan produces and mixes everything. It's all done out of his little studio apartment. So it's like, it's not too bad.
It's homemade music.
It's homemade music. And it's getting a lot of ears on it, which is cool.